Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from everywhere you're watching. Welcome to Blaxodus channel. It's been a long time. The last time I was here, it's been, I believe, almost a year or more than a year, just about. The last time I uploaded a video, there have been a lot of stuff going on in my life, in our life personally, and with my wife as a couple, because we had the baby. We've been very busy, hands-on, different projects, different things we've been doing. We do know that African proverb says that the stream that is still is the one that get infected and that smells. So we've been doing a lot of stuff, and we give glory to Almighty God. Everything we've been doing, and we've been able to achieve, and we're still doing more. So the baby is almost a year old now. We've been so busy, very busy, and the channel is still live and well. We uploaded a post on our YouTube channel to explain what has been happening with the channel, to explain what's been going on, to also let our subscribers know about how we're transitioning the channel into something much more Pan-African, in a way where we talk about what's going on in the continent politics, in the continent lifestyle. We also started a project called Blaxodus Group, where we organize a travel and tourism for people in diaspora that want to go to Nigeria, especially this dirty December of a vibe that we have now in Lagos. However, this travel and tourism is much more than that. We're gonna be like going to different parts of the country, especially the southwest, which is Yoruba land, where I'm from and where my wife is from, showcasing the beauty of what Yoruba land has to offer and Nigeria as a whole. So that's what we've started this year, and by the grace of God, we'll be getting our first set of people that want to go, and we will attach the website so people can get more information about Blaxodus Group. So Blaxodus Group is beyond the travel and tourism. We also have Blaxodus Media, which is our YouTube channel, which we're also going to be transitioning to documentation of our lifestyle as we plan, and the plans have been set in motion to make sure we change our location from the United Kingdom back to Nigeria, by the grace of God, due to different reasons that we're going to be talking more about on our channel, based on the reality of things out in the UK. We've decided that the best society for our children to grow is Nigeria, which is our home country, and they can come back to the UK or go wherever they like, maybe for their university education, so long they have that cultural background which we really want to instill in them, and to improve our lifestyle. Because as some of us know, that in diaspora, in the Western world, all we do mostly is work, like Rihanna's song, work. All we do is work. We hardly have time for families. Like, people's children hardly actually even know their parents, because all they do is work, bills upon bills, like the lifestyle. If you've never traveled, you can understand. Some people will be like, Nigeria is hard, Ghana is hard, Cameroon is hard. Everywhere has its challenges, but it depends on where you want to live your life, what you want to achieve. If, as Yoruba people say, which means if your hand hasn't gotten to the sword, I believe you wouldn't be requesting what killed my father. Like, you can't defend yourself, and you can't seek something better for yourself. So as all the plans we are putting into motion get set, we're going to be using this channel to also document our eventual move back home to Nigeria, and showcase a lot of beauty, a lot of talent, a lot of things we've planned. We plan to do what we call Blaxodus Games, where we do like game shows, to give back to the society back home. We plan to improve and expand our foundation, Blaxodus Foundation, as we've been doing. The girl that we're supporting through our education is almost done with her secondary school education, and we're also planning to expand it to give back more, to also help more people. We plan on doing a lot of stuff. We plan on doing a format where a lot of experiences that we've garnered, especially in the Western world, will be able to use it to improve like lifestyles over there in Nigeria, to let people understand that this life is much more than just making, let's say, Japa, as we say, which is going abroad, and also to let people know what it's really all about. So that is my welcome note. Thank you all for having me back. It's been a while, and we're back now. I'm back. So I would like to start with some of the most important things we've missed, which is the alliance of the Sahel countries. I believe Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, with what is happening now and their exits from ECOWAS. It's disheartening, especially when there were change of government through the coups in the Sahel countries, and especially what ECOWAS decided to do, giving them ultimatum that we're gonna probably like invade you and reinstall your former president if you don't do this, if you don't do that. But it just doesn't work like that. My first degree is in international relations and diplomacy, so I was a little bit shocked when I heard some of our leaders, especially in Nigeria, which is the main backbone of ECOWAS, making all these claims against and threat against the Sahel countries. Like, do you need to understand the main bone of contention of the problem? They say they want France out of their country. They want America out of their country. Like, fine, but it's not up to you. Let's say, like our president, to now be giving threat that you need to back down. Nigeria doesn't own Niger. Nigeria doesn't own Burkina Faso. They are independent country, and they feel like if ECOWAS is not serving its purpose, then they would leave, and they've left. It's a major blow to the ECOWAS as a region, because it's Economic Community of West African States, which is the main reason why it was created, was to foster unity, to reduce division against the borders that were created in the Berlin Conference, which France and England, Britain, demarcated their spheres of influence, whereby people like me from Nigeria will speak English. People like my friend from Benin Republic, even though we are both from the same tribe, Yoruba, they speak French. So they decided that, you know what, this ECOWAS is not serving its purpose. They've not listened to us. We've had several terrorist attacks in form of Boko Haram, and there's a new one now called Lakurawa, up in the northeastern part of Nigeria and southern part of Niger and part of Burkina Faso and Mali too. They are also the Tuareg geography. So they were like, France, you said you are helping us to fight these terrorist activities, but it's not subsiding. And apart from that, they said they wanted economic independence, which we should understand that is different from political independence. Political independence, most African countries gained their political independence in 1960s, and a lot of African countries, they don't really have what to show for it. Like my home country, after gaining independence October 1st, 1960 till today, there are a lot of things we should have achieved and more if we've had leaders with foresight that really love their country. I mean, like, love their country, that want the best for the country, instead of trails of corruption, nepotism. We can just go on and on and on, from the military head of state to the republic that we have now, to the civilian government that we have now. And as Baba Fela said, may his soul continue to rest in peace, it's just corruption on corruption. So they thought of it, especially talking about Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Like we've been under the influence of France for decades, for generations, but we have nothing to show for it. So he decided to do a counter coup, because there was a coup already on ground. Do a counter coup, remove the then head of state in Burkina Faso, which literally means the land of the upright man. And we can also understand that Burkina Faso leader now is like the light that was shot ages ago in the form of Thomas Sankara, Captain Thomas Sankara, that is now living on. So when you have a hugely patriotic leader, you'll be surprised what a country can achieve in short little time. Now, the whole world is now talking about how Burkina Faso, Mali has been able to pay off their debts, as they've nationalized a lot of their gold mines. Like he said, how can we be producing gold and you guys, like the Western world, IMF, the World Bank, they will be like, African countries are one of the poorest countries in the world, but we have majority of the mineral resources that makes the world go round. Look at what is happening in Congo now with the Goma, with the rebel, because somebody did say that if you peel, like, the African issue is like a layer of onions. If you keep peeling, you would understand that there is no place that there has been like a civil war, an issue that mostly hasn't been about mineral resources. Is it Biafra war? Fine, the Igbos wanted to be independent, which anybody, according to United Nations Charter, you have the right of self-determinism, self-determination. You can. So you have a common language, common ancestral history, you can strive to be independent. There's nothing wrong with that. They wanted to be independent in 1967, I believe, before the Biafra war kicked on, I believe till 1970. But there was also an issue of crude oil involved. Is it the Sierra Leone blood diamond issue? There was diamond involved. Now look at Congo. There's cobalt involved. There's different loads of mineral resources. That was why Captain Ibrahim Traore, decided to lead his own country and show his vision. But the Western world do call him and his clique a junta. But what happens when a junta, the so-called junta, within a year, within 2 years, have paid off your national debt? They are even building locally made automobiles now. They create thousands of jobs. The GDP has increased drastically. But we look at my country, Nigeria, who is the African giant, as they say. I would just say African giant in number, in population, and that's it. But we can be more. Imagine we have a leader with such a foresight, where all he thinks about is the improvement of life quality for the citizens and the country appearance on the world stage. Because as some of us will know in diaspora, the way you are treated at home is the way people will treat you outside. Videos, a lot of pictures of police brutality, just like the NSAS movement, and documentation of corruption and whatnot in the Nigerian history for years is open to the world to see. Then when you travel, then you think of, why am I being treated this way at the airport? Because of my Nigerian passport? Why am I being randomly chosen to be searched? Because of my Nigerian passport? It's not really because about who you are as an individual. No, it's because of the identity you carry, which is Nigeria, which has been tainted by years of mismanagement, misappropriation of our resources, which the world can see. So it's just the way we are now being treated. I remember they used to call China the sick man of Asia, the yellow man in the Western world. But what do we have now? China has leapfrogged a lot of Western states in technology, in investment, in worldwide investment. Now, anywhere you see a Chinese person, they are treated with more respect than an average African person, just because of how strong their country has been and the projection of power. So our African leaders need to do more. They can do much more better than what they're doing. It's like, I read the news some time ago that the World Bank was like pleading with Burkina Faso to get a loan. Like, we don't need your loan. That's what they told them. We don't need your loan. We have everything we need here. Why do we need your loan? That is it. Even though colonialism is long gone and dead, but there's still neo-colonialism in another fashion. So that is how they entrap the debt entrapment of African nations into perpetual indebtedness that we can actually develop. There's this philosopher, I've forgotten his name now. He said, and I quote, that why do we have to transact business between Nigeria and Ghana, or between Congo and Zambia in US dollars? That why? Like, think about it. Why? We have our own currencies. We can agree on a mechanism where we can actually exchange value for value. So all our transactions have to pass through Washington DC before it actually goes to the third party, which is the country we are having transactions with. Why won't we be in debt forever? All African nations' debts, they are in US dollars. Why? Why can't our debt be in our own currency? Then we exchange values for value, just like Gaddafi once started before he was removed by you know who, by the Western NATO defensive alliance. So it's wonderful what is happening now as a Pan-African, as someone that is highly interested in politics and is highly interested in governance of his continent, of his country, that we need to move forward as a nation. Enough of what the Western world can do for us. What can we do for ourselves? Why are we still going cap in hand? Why are our leaders still going cap in hand to Davos, to IMF, to World Bank, to Washington DC, begging for money, begging for investment? Why? Why can't we get our act right, so that instead of begging for investments will be trooping in? FDIs, foreign direct investments, will be trooping in. People in diaspora that probably want to go back home and add their own quota to their national development won't think twice. People in diaspora that want to invest back home won't think twice, because they can see that their country is going in the right direction and they want to be part of that development. Because the truth is, as an African, you can even have the British passport, the American passport. To me personally, I don't really think you're like British to say, or American so to say, because there are different rules and regulations that these countries can enact. It's their country. They can decide that anybody that's been naturalized in the past 5 or 10 years due to they're revoking it or whatnot. And there are some crimes you would commit. Let's say as a naturalized Cameroonian British citizen, that you would serve your time and you would be deported and your citizenship will be revoked. But that same can be said for a white English that is British. If he or she commits crime, he who commits crime does the time. Let's say he's finished doing the time. Where will he or she be deported to? This is his country. Just like what happened to, I believe, Shemima Begum, that was, her citizenship was revoked. She did something very bad, joining a terrorist organization. I believe, or in Syria, traveling when she was like, I think 16 years old. Then when all said and done, she tried to come back to the UK, but she couldn't. They revoked her citizenship. They told her that grandparents are from Bangladesh. She should go back to Bangladesh. So if it was an English girl or an American girl, a white American lady that committed the same crime, he or she will be allowed back into the country to answer for her crimes, which is bad. Joining a terrorist organization, obviously, is bad. But the point is, she thought that because she was British citizen, she was going to come back anytime she feels like. No, it didn't work like that. She took the British government to court, to Supreme Court. They all ruled in favor of the government, because they said they couldn't afford that kind of threat coming back into the country. So that is just the bitter truth. And look at what Donald Trump has said since he became president and what he's been doing. Actions speak louder than words. There's been a lot of deportations going on in America now. Our bet is against illegal migrants who have overstayed their visiting visa or student schooling visa and whatnot. It just shows that these Western countries are beginning to tighten their borders, and they understood that they need to do away with the unwanted extra population, which is a drag on the value they're giving to their own citizens. Because uncontrolled immigration also leads to inflationary pricing of houses, accommodations, public institutions, like strain on the healthcare, like in the UK. Like I was sick a couple of weeks ago. I called the ambulance. I was very ill. I was told that there's no ambulance available. The hospitals were full. That I should just sort myself out. Literally, that's what I was told. That I should sort myself out. And they hung up on me. And then come to think of it, then you think of what like the droves of illegal migrations has caused in this country, this United Kingdom that I'm currently living in. It's understandable that these countries are now realizing that they need to reduce the influx of illegal immigration. However, the encompassing umbrella word is immigration. But what about people that came here legally, like me, that got the visas to come here, the people that are studying, that pay tens of thousands of pounds, people that they came here to work, like engineers, like pilots, adding value to the economy, paying their taxes, paying so much money. Like imagine a family of 5, a family of 6, which I know that they're sorting out their documentation here. They spend over £18,000 to just get another 2.5 years visas. So those ones, they add value to the economy, but their main issue now is illegal immigration. So we need to think as Africans, why do we need to keep looking at what the Western countries, the new law they want to enact, the new legislation that they want to pass? Why can't we sort out our own countries? Why can't Africa stand up? Just like the Arab Spring, it has started in the Sahel countries, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, the so-called poor countries, that they are now out of debt, debt-free. Literally, imagine a country being debt-free. Even the so-called United States of America, the boss of all the bosses, the world police, the hegemon, they are in over 32 to 33 trillion dollars debt. And imagine the so-called poor countries in Africa fully out of debt. Why? Because they have foresight, because they have leaders that love their country, that want their country to move forward. They're done with the narrative of underdeveloped countries, of the backwater country, of African countries that of terrorist activities or all the negative vibes. They're done with that and they're moving forward. So it would be nice, it would be great to see fellow African countries especially fellow African country leaders, putting the value and the life of their citizens first in any policy they want to make, not being subservient to their Western overlords. Some of them, we do have like the former president of Gabon that were telling people to make noise. He's been there for ages. The president of Cameroon, Paul Biya, has been there before I was born. Like, doing what? Literally, doing what? If you are for France, you can spend 50 years as president in a Francophone country. Don't be fooled also by the Anglophone countries either, because like in Nigeria, we've had several different types of president, but it's just the same snake, but different head. Their policies are still redundant. The country is still, to this day, we don't have 24 hours power supply in the largest country by population in Africa. Literally. We are 2.38% of the world population, Nigeria. 1 in 47 people on the planet is a Nigerian, but we can't even boast of 24 hours power supply. And how can a country move forward in this world of information technology, in this world of AI, of tech, without power? We have the largest young population, I believe, in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can correct me on the comments section. We have so many young people, so many human resources. Apart from the natural mineral resources, we have the best weather, like Africa. Literally, we have one of the best weathers, one of the best climates, one of the best, the most fertile soil. Well, why would there be hunger in the land? Why can't there be government intervention of different agricultural policies that's gonna improve people's lives? Literally, I'm an investor back home. I understand what people go through to set up businesses, even setting up businesses, especially for people in diaspora. But what about the issue of not even having people to trust? We do complain about our leaders, but when you look at it again, most of the times, the people of a country, of a particular nation, and their leaders, they go hand in hand. The leaders are more or less like the aggregate result of the majority, how they are. Because It's hard for a country, a leader to rule over a country where they don't have anything in common. So it's so hard to find people to trust, especially back home. I don't know about Ghana. I've heard from my Ghanaian friends. I've heard from my Sierra Leonean friends, Gambian friends, Senegalese friends. It's mutually the same. People can't invest and just go to bed and hope and know that people that they run their businesses are doing the best they can do and treating the business as if it's theirs to make sure that the business succeed. If we look at the transgenerational businesses of the Western world, is it Coca-Cola, is it Pepsi, is it Lloyd's, Barclays, they've transcended generations, literally. They've moved from one generation to the other and they employ thousands of people. And the CEOs might not even be in the country where their headquarters is. They might be maybe in Dubai just chilling. But it's so hard to find a Nigerian business that is thriving where the owner is not on ground to make sure that things goes well. Look at the richest man in Africa, the richest black man in the world, Dangote. He has to sit down with his business because that is just the bitter truth of how it is. So we complain about our leaders, but what about looking inwards and trying to make sure that what anyone puts into our care should be cared after? So far they're doing their bit. So I also saw of recent what Kemi Badenoch said. How do they put it? Because it goes funny here in the UK. If you're born in Nigeria and you've done something good, they mostly call you British citizen. But if you've done something bad, I believe Anthony Joshua said this because I think it was in prison or something, maybe a long time ago, and he was shocked way before he became a superstar and how he was treated in the media. Like then they will call you Nigerian born British. So Kemi Badenoch, who is British citizen by birth. Our parents came over from Nigeria to give birth to her in the UK. I forgot the year. I think maybe 1970 some or 1980 something. I don't even know her age. Then the rule was changed. Literally, I think a year immediately after she was born. That's birth by not citizenship by birth stops. So she benefited from that system. Then she came now saying that what you like or the immigrants, the illegal immigrants now, what you could have achieved maybe in 6 years, which is naturalization, you have to achieve in 15 years now. Fine. She's talking on behalf of our country. She's a British citizen. She identifies as such. She's the leader of the Conservative Party, which is a huge achievement for her personally. And I've been seeing a lot of comments on different platforms, a lot of people all across, especially all across Africa, immigrant people in this country, because as they say, you're a citizen in your country and you're an immigrant in another country. So immigrants in the UK, they've been going like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? Then I was like, according to her, she's saying what she believed most British people want to hear. Because as a British citizen, some people, I'm putting myself in the shoe of some British citizens where they want to gain access to maybe the NHS, which is the medical administration here, and there's so much going on there that they can actually be saying people die on waiting lists because of the uncontrolled immigration. Also said that if you've ever had a benefit, you can't be a British citizen. If you've committed a crime, you can't be a British citizen. Good. Is what the Conservative Party believe is great for their country. It's their country. They can make any law that suits them to manage their country. This United Kingdom that once ruled almost 40% of the world landmass. They can make the rules. But what are our leaders? What are they doing? That's my own headache. What are they doing? Is it until Ghanaians in France, Senegalese in Italy, Nigerians in the UK, Africans in all these Western worlds are being forcefully removed before we realize that there's fire on the mountain, that we need to look inward and build Africa of our yesterday, not even of our tomorrow, because yesterday we should have like started looking inward, as some of our Pan-Africanist founding fathers had tried to set the precedent, like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, Balewas of Nigeria. Like, what are we waiting for? Patrick Lumumba of Congo. I don't even want to go there. Like, some of us know what happened to him, how he was ousted and murdered by the power that be then from Belgium, by using his best friend, someone very close to him, Mobutu Sese Seko. And the same thing was also applicable to what happened to Captain Thomas Sankara. I've forgotten the name of his friend. Was it Blaise Compaoré? I can't remember. I can't remember now. But when we look at it, African leaders need to stand up for Africa. We need to stand for ourselves, because all these countries that Africans are running to, if they don't get their stuffs right, if they don't love their country to make sure that there's 24 hours power supply, there's at least average good roads, there's security, there's law and order, there's equality before the law, there's like hardly nepotism, there's meritocracy, would we be running, going into -4 degrees, -40 degrees, going to Finland to study, going to Italy to move? And as Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, once said, that Africa is a cemetery for Africans. He said when an African is rich, he would want to travel to France, he would want to have his bank account in Switzerland, he would want to send his children to study in New York, in America, in the UK. He would want to go on holiday to Dubai. He would want to go flex in Spain. But when he dies, he would want to be buried back home. So what's the point? That's what I asked my wife. Like, what's the point of living if I can't add my own quota and have my own legacy in where I'm from? What's the point? What's the point of paying all the bills I can pay in the UK, pay my direct debits, my standing orders, my sitting orders, pay my bills, and I just grow old? Okay, fine. I've given a better life to I and my children, but I die, I'm gone. My kids, they lost contact with their ancestral lands. They lost contact with their culture. Most of them hardly speak our languages. Most of the parents are happy that, hey, my son, my daughter is speaking Queen's English. You want to be English so bad. Our Francophone counterpart, they want to be French so bad. Our Christian mothers and fathers, they said that an African wants to be more Christian than the people from Rome, from the Roman Catholic Church. They want to be more Christian even than the Christians of Israel. Not even talking about the Jews of Israel. Like, we want to be Muslims more than the Muslims from Saudi Arabia. It's just lack of connection with our Ori, with our ancestors, which means our ancestors. Lack of connection. So what's the point of life if all I am and ever will be is what I've been able to do and achieve in the Western world? Fine, some people argue it's a better life. Yeah, you have a better future for your children, you have security, but it's not everybody in Nigeria that's gonna be killed, that's gonna get murdered. It's not everyone in the UK that's gonna be 100% safe. Like, look at what happened, I believe, in Norway of recent, maybe last week, like 11 people got killed. One of the safest countries in the world. It could have been anybody, which is a very bad thing that happened. So my point is, anything can happen. I live in Manchester. I remember the Manchester bombing. May God rest the souls of the people that lost their lives in that bombing. But what happened? In a peaceful place like Manchester, people are dead. Anything can happen to anybody anyway. One of the things they said, yeah, I came here for a better life for my children. Fine. the Western world gives exposure, which is highly needed in development, and humans by nature, we are migratory, just like the four fathers of the Europeans left Africa and migrated to the Caucasus and migrated to cold climate. Hence the skin color, the eye color, the hair growing down because of the change in climate. We are migratory in nature, but now with the modern day borders and divisions that's been happening in Africa, we can look at that. Okay, I grow old. I go, once I'm old enough, they take me to old people's home. Then my kids, maybe they'll come and check on me once in 6 months, waiting for me to go and join my ancestors. Then anything I want to will, let's say I want them to inherit, will be massively taxed by the inheritance tax in the UK, which I believe they also want to increase, I think, to 40%. I saw the news 2 days ago. What is now the essence of life of that Nigerian man, of that Eritrean, of that Zambian that has lived, that's achieved, but what impact has he impacted in his children's life? What impact has he impacted in his ancestral land where he actually come from? Not everyone is as patriotic or Pan-African as me, but when you look at it, in a way, you realize that the so-called history that we've read about ourselves was majorly written for us. And as a philosopher once said, it's the victors that write the history. The victors. We've been at the receiving end for far too long. Our leaders need to wake up. Africa needs to stand for Africa. Africans need to stand for Africans. We need to start working together in unison. Enough of the division. Like this song I just listened to for the first time. I got exposed to it. It's sung by, I've forgotten his name. Is it Tito Fan something from, I think, Senegal? He said ils ont partagé le monde, plié le béton, which means like they shared the world. Like I'm no longer surprised that Africa is not united when we have Yorubas divided along the borders. They're in Nigeria, the Yorubas in Benin Republic. When we have Wolof, according to the song, divided, some in Moses, some in Ghana. Literally, we need to look inward and build Africa of our yesterday and put the motherland in the forefront of our life, because at the end of the day, that is where we are from. At the end of the day, you can have the green passport or the green paper. I don't know what they call it in America. You can have the Irish passport, but in the passport that you have, if you check it very well, they will put is it a nationality at birth or place of birth. They'll put Nigeria, they'll put Cameroon, because it shows that is where you're actually from. You got the political passport. That doesn't change your DNA. That doesn't change who you are. But don't let us try to be what we're not. Let us look back and do our part to bring Africa into the new generation by being proud. In the past, people don't like to associate themselves with Africa, but now we can see it's changing, especially with our music, with our entertainment industry. Look at what's happening, like in Ghana, Dirty December. People all over the world come to Accra and have fun. The same in Lagos. Like, it's starting to open up. But my own is, a lot of people are gonna miss out, especially Africans in diaspora, due to their own tangible reasons on why they don't want to like do anything back home or whatnot. Like, they want everything they are to remain where they are, which makes sense, because most of us don't have people that we can trust. That's just the bitter truth. You see brothers fighting over properties against brothers. You see siblings trying to plot the downfall of their other siblings because of what he has. You see people being entrusted to run a project, siphoning and embezzling the money, and we are complaining about our leaders. Like Mahatma Gandhi said, if you want to change the world, let the change begins with you. I don't know if I'm saying it the right. Change begins with you. So I'm back. I and my wife are back. Stay tuned. If you enjoy anything I've said in this video, give us a like, comment your own ideas, what you think can be done to solve this generational exodus. Yes, generational exodus of brains, of human resource that could build the continent, of what we can do to push Africa forward, to push our individual countries forward, and away from these old cabals of reused and overused ideas that has not pushed us anywhere. I would like to end this video with a surprise. The surprise is I'm running for the governorship of my state in Nigeria, which is Ogun State. So it's like saying enough words, let's see the action. So I'm running for the governorship of Ogun State 2027. If you're Nigerian and you're from Ogun State, please vote for me because I've got a lot of ideas of how change can begin at home, of how we can start being respected in the international environment, because our home is developing and is being developed. Literally, I'm all in. This is my first announcement which I'm making. So we'll be releasing the campaign website very soon. We'll be releasing all the necessary social handles, and it's wonderful what we can achieve if we come together to actually change the narrative. So from my own background as a political scientist, I've understood that there's so much you can do by just protesting. There's so much you can do, but you need to be part of the system and change the system from within. So that is what I personally, the vision I have for my country. I want the system to change. I want an average Nigerian to be respected wherever he or she is because of how strong our country is. And we can do it. We have everything that we need. We don't need more loans. We have our values. We have our assets. That is wonderful. We have the best soil in the world. We have the best climate. But what we need to get right is the leadership. So thank you very much. Share this video, like this video, comment. It would be nice to see me on the ballot box in 2027, running for the governorship of Ogun State, Nigeria. I believe I'll be the youngest that ever ran for governorship, and I can't wait to be supported. I believe we can do it. A journey of 1,000 miles actually begins with a step. Thank you very much for having me. It's your lovely host, Akin Shoyoye, a proud Egba man, a proud Ogun State man, a proud Yoruba man, a proud Nigerian, and a proud Pan-African. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us, staying with us to the end of this video. Blaxodus, peace out.